From the Penn Libraries.
That the professor really sets the tone for the technology, I think, and how, the transparency is major. And also, if you say this is an experimental technology, we're going to work through it, we're going to, get feedback, that's important. But when a professor at the beginning of the class says, we have a Blackboard page, but I hate Blackboard, it's horrible, it doesn't, it doesn't do what I want it to do, immediate student disengagement. So I think it's big to be critical of the technology, but also, to say as a professor what your goal is with the technology. If you're going to say, oh, well, it's horrible, no one's going to use it, and it shouldn't exist in the first place. But if you're going to say, it has its challenges, it has its difficulties, we're going to work through it, I think that's a big difference there in setting the tone for how the technology will be used within the class.
If you can own the technology that you're using, it's night and day. If there's a confidence being brought to the classroom in the way that you're using technology, it really makes a huge difference. Kind of in that same vein, we're talking a little bit about experimental things. Like a company like Apple takes a technology that's been around for like 5, even sometimes 10 years, and waits on it and waits on it and waits on it. And finally, when they feel like they can own it, they do it. And it feels new and exciting and innovative and relevant when they actually do it, even though it's been around for a while. And I think kind of a similar thing works here. Like, you know what a really great technology is? Email. Like, email works really well. It's compatible with everything. Everyone has it. And if you can use a system like email, like a listserv for a class, and use it really effectively, like, you don't have to master some new fancy thing that people are uncomfortable with. Like, you can take an old technology that's really effective and really own it and use it very effectively.
I had 2 kind of interesting experiences. One is that I'm a Manager 100 TA. So when we were rolling out the launch of Canvas, when we first brought it to our freshman students, we told them that you have to use Canvas. It's a complicated system, but you'll learn it eventually, don't worry. And that was sort of how we predisposed everyone to this product. And we had a lot of problems introducing Canvas to the freshman class with that, with those instructions. And sort of in hindsight, you go, duh, of course. But I think that it was a little too much like forcing the technology on them. You have to use this platform. And there weren't very clear avenues for people to get feedback as well as to give feedback about sort of their experience. And then I contrast that a bit with, say, this classics course I'm in right now, where the technology is constantly being reevaluated. We're constantly deciding whether or not we want to shift from Piazza to Google Groups, or do we like Piazza's system, and what do we like about it? And there's an ongoing dialogue throughout the semester about the technologies. And I think that's a really great thing, because it brings the students into the fold and asks, what is it you're getting out of this technology? What is beneficial, what is not beneficial, and how can we sort of pare it down into a couple of offerings that really give you what you need for your class?
We use laptops inside our classrooms maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I know that's not the normal. I know that's not the norm for people to have laptops given to them by the school. That's crazy, but especially in our economy. But I would say that my second point is that you kind of have to meet your students where they are, as well as you have to know what class you're teaching, because a lot of professors try to take one thing that worked from one class and apply it to another class when they're 2 completely different classes. So if, for example, if you have a quantitative class, like I'm taking statistics right now, and we use what's called JUMP. It's a computer program. So having a laptop in the class is indispensable, because we can follow him on our laptops while he does it. Don't be afraid to ask your students for help, especially if it's experimental with Facebook. We're more than willing to let you know how to do it.
In nursing, and there were new staff and new faculty, whatever, I realized that there was not a lot of ownership for Blackboard, because we would have, we would hear, oh, it's on Blackboard. Then you'd go to the Blackboard for the class, and actually it's not on Blackboard, because the professor forgot to like upload it or whatever so that the students could see it. So I think it's very, very, very critical to like everyone's been saying, own the technology. If you want to keep it simple and have like 5 folders, fine. But when you start getting really fancy and have 26 folders and subfolders of the subfolders and all this kind of stuff, then you confuse yourself, and you definitely confuse your students.